From the hills of northwest Arkansas to the flatlands of the Delta, it's only 52 days till kickoff of high school football in Arkansas. This is Hometown Sports Volume 2, only on the Arkansas Sports Network. Hometown Sports Volume 2 is being brought to you by D3 Auto Sales. Lifted, leveled, and ready to roll. Drive different. By Tyson Foods. Passionate about food, committed to you, feeding the world like family. By Arkansas Tech University. Financial flexibility, academic excellence. Learn more, earn more. And by Metcalf Trucking Company. Arkansas trucking delivered reliably and with integrity.
All right, well, we are honored today to be joined by Carlisle Bison head coach Gary Wilson. I had the privilege to interview him last offseason. I'm happy to have you with us again here, Coach. It was a great interview last offseason. I want to start by talking about just give me a general overview of your program. Just tell us about what's going on with Carlisle football since we last saw you guys.
Well, we had a really good season last year that we're proud of, but didn't end the way that we wanted it to or expected it to. And I think like any good program would do, they kind of use that to fuel them through the off season. We had a really good off season, got bigger and stronger and faster. Probably like everyone's telling you they did, but we feel really good about it. And we've had a really good summer as far as 7-on-7 goes, team camp. Just really pleased with the work that our kids are putting in right now and the buy-in from the guys too. So
tell me a little bit about what you guys are bringing back and what you guys lost from last season.
I'll just start defensively since that's kind of my baby on that side. We've got 7 guys coming back on defense from what was statistically, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong here, but either the top or number 2 scoring defense in 2A and one of the top 10 defenses in all classifications. But we returned 7 starters, got 3 starters back in the defensive backfield. So we really like what we got there. We got a good blend of speed and length back there. 3 out of 4 starters back at linebacker, and all those guys are bigger and they're faster and they understand the scheme. They can all cover. They'll all hit you. And then 2 back on the defensive line, I do believe, or 1 full-time starter back, a guy that's got about 18 career sacks, and then some other guys that were heavy rotators. So we've got a lot of experience coming back on defense and guys that have been in the scheme since the 7th grade and understand what we want to do and our philosophy, so that's big. And then on the offensive side of the football, we bring back 4 out of 5 guys on the offensive line, so we're really excited about that.
That's huge.
It is. Last year we thought, that as explosive as we were on offense, we didn't run the ball nearly as well as we wanted to, and that hurt us at times. So we've got 4 guys coming back. We've got a running back coming back that I think can run for 2,000 yards if he gets the chance.
Yeah, he looked pretty good last year at times.
He's a good one, man, and he's a kid that's up to almost 180. He'll squats 450. He runs a 4.5 40. Like, he's got all the measurables, and he's a tough kid. He's good. And then we've got to replace some production at wide receiver. Our 2 slots are gone, but we really like the guys we got coming back. And then we've got the kid that I told you has got about 18 career sacks, is also a 6'3", 200-pound wide receiver for us.
That's pretty good size in 2A.
Yeah, he's got a chance to play at the next level on either side of the ball.
That's good there. That young man sitting over there, he grew quite a bit this past offseason. We were just talking about him.
He's an okay player for us over there. He's a good-looking one.
So last season, you guys specifically, I know your schedule was pretty good to you guys as far as how many wins you had, but you guys played Junction City in the regular season, beat them pretty easily after a little bit of a slow start, and then in the playoffs, they came out and they ran the ball really well. What do you think that your team has learned from last season to this season that might get y'all over the hump and get y'all to that state championship game?
Hats off to Junction, man. They punched us in the mouth and they beat us up in the playoffs, and they were the best team for sure that night. But I think that game taught us, to me, how we have to get back to being able to run the football on offense and making sure defensively that we're able to stop the run. That was the biggest takeaway for me. So
when you're low on numbers, being able to run the ball and control the clock, that's big when you
is.
don't put your defense right back on the field when you're having to get beat in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
You know, by teams like that.
So tell me about your schedule this year, because you guys usually, from what I've seen, I mean, you guys have had a lot of success, and part of that might be because of how tough y'all's non-conference is every year. You guys schedule some really tough teams. So tell me about your non-conference, why you guys scheduled it the way that you did, and then going into the conference, maybe some games that you guys are anticipating a little bit more than the others.
Well, you know, when I think about the non-conference schedule, when I go to schedule, I always try to do something like I try to find a school that traditionally Carlisle wouldn't play. Like take our kids somewhere they've never been, see something they haven't seen, just play somewhere new. So that's always one thing that goes into non-conference scheduling, and we always want to make sure that we've got that one really, really tough game going into it where we know exactly where we stand and what we work on. And traditionally that's been Des Arc. You know, we don't want to go into conference play playing 3 games where we could have just shown up and games that make us feel good about ourselves. Like we need to know what we have to improve on and what we have to be better on. And so this year we go to Lake Village to start the year. Next week, Palmer, Mississippi. I don't know a lot about them. A school from Mississippi. We're going to play them. I'm sure it's the first time we've played an out-of-state school in Carlisle. So they're going to come to us this year. We're going to go to them next year. We got a bye week, and then we'll get ready for Des Arc. So, and that's always a big one. They do a great job down there, and you know their kids they're tough and they play hard, and it's always I think a good test for both teams, so they know where
absolutely
they stand
it is
to conference. And then as far as conference goes, you know I think there's a lot of improved teams this year. I mean I wouldn't talk about our conference without talking about Hazen first. You know, Coach Basankin and those guys do a great job, and I thought last year was just a really good example. A slow start for them, but then when we played them, we played them in week 10. You know, that's a different football team. They've figured out what they're going, what they are then, and they've got the Pinckney kid coming back, quarterback. He's a really good player, so they're gonna have it figured out. They're never going to be bad.
He's got some wheels. Pinckney does. If he gets to the corner, he
does. And then the Barretts at Poen always do a really good job. You know, their kids are going to be tough and disciplined, and they're going to be fundamentally sound. And you know, they bring a quarterback back that's been, I think, will be a 4-year starter for him, and he's the coach's son, so he knows the game, and so that'll be a tough game for us. And you know, then Bearden's gotten better every year. You know, and they've got a running back they're going to bring back that's a really good kid, and I'm sure they feel good about where they're at this year too. So.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are planning on doing on offense. I know a few years ago you guys were very run-heavy back when you had J.J. Sullivan on the team, and then you guys kind of transitioned to more of a spread this year with Ty Tanksley and the way he can air it out. And then you have the Elliots have been great runners as well. So, you know, just tell me a little bit about what you guys are going to be doing on offense. And then I know that you're a defensive guy, so tell me a little bit about your defense as well.
Offensively, we're going to, you know, we've got a new OC coming in. Coach B.J. Harrison, he was OC at Hazen when they won their state title. He was there for a little bit. He's been at Sylvan Hills, and I know firsthand how difficult it is to stop what he wants to do. He does a great job, you know. So we're just gonna try to be balanced. I mean, and we've lost 2 guys at receiver. We lost 3, but we've got really good guys coming back that understand space. They understand spacing. They understand how to work to get open. And, you know, that guy over there that you'll get to talk to is one of them. They're just really good football players. So, you know, you might not see as much down the field passing this year. It might be more, you know, quick game, timing routes, work to space. But then we're gonna run the football because, you know, you brought up Jason Sullivan, and I love Jason, and he's the best one that I've been around. And no pressure to Jaden. I don't know if Jaden is Jason Sullivan, but this Jaden Elliott's special, and you know, and I think a lot of people will see that this year. We're really excited about him. So we just want to make you defend the whole field still.
If you can be balanced, that's dangerous in 2A. I mean, you was last year. I mean, you weren't as balanced as you wanted to be, you said, but that passing game was, you know, it was on point most of the time.
Yeah,
so.
we just want to make you defend everything. We don't want to let you load the box to take the run away and then not be able to throw the ball at all. We want to make you wrong, whatever you decide.
Exactly.
To do.
So, talk to me a little bit about this group of seniors that you have. You know, being from a small town, a small school, these guys probably, a lot of them grew up with each other and really have a good, solid bond. So tell me a little bit about this senior class and what makes them special.
Well, you know, I've been with these guys since 7th grade. It's the first group that I've been with all the way through, and, you know, I know what I'm going to get with them. I know that they're going to show up every day. I know that they're tough kids. I know that they'll fight you, you know, on the field, not fist fight on the field, but I know they're not going to back down from anybody on the field. And I know they'll give us everything they have because I know Carlisle football is important to those guys. And I know they're going to hold each other accountable. The two guys that you're going to talk to right now, one's been a 3-year starter for us. One would have been a 3-year starter for us if we'd have had him for all 3 years. And, they make sure that their teammates do the things they're supposed to do. And if they don't do it, they hear about it. It's not just from the coaches, It's
from the fans.
Yeah, we've got that. And those guys over there are going to hold their other teammates accountable if it's not done up to our standard. So it's big. We've got good leaders in our senior class.
Yeah. Tell me about the community at Carlisle. Obviously, that's a big thing for you guys. You guys, I've been to some Carlisle games. You have great community support there. The Friday night lights in Carlisle are a big deal. So just tell me a little bit about that.
I don't know that you'd be hard pressed to find a community in 2A that supports their high school football team more than ours. And I think what makes it special in 2A is that the fans know these kids. They've known them since they were probably born. They've known their parents, and they're not just showing up and cheering for a number on Friday night. They're cheering for kids that they know. That being said, they expect you to win too, so the expectations are high, going all the way back to when Coach Clayton took over in '89, and you're looking at like 10 or 11 years in a row where it was 10-0 every year and conference championships every year, and they don't necessarily expect that, but they expect you to win, and the tradition's there, and I mean we expect to win too, and I don't think me or our kids would want it any other way than to have those kind of expectations.
A lot of times the team on the other side, the parents know your kids too, because you take the Des Arc, Hazen, Carlisle community, and those kids have played Pee Wee football against each other for their whole life. Most of the parents know everybody. It's just
I played at Carlisle, and a lot of the guys I coach now at Carlisle, I either played with their dad or knew their parents, and then we play Hazen, and I'm coaching against kids who's I know their parents.
Exactly.
I played against and grew up with their parents. So
it's different over there.
It is.
So I'll give you one last question before we bring in your players over here. Tell me a little bit about the culture at Carlisle. We talked about that a little bit with the community, but what's your culture of your football team? How much you guys invest in the weight room versus going to team camps and doing 7-on-7s and things like that, and what you guys do in practice? Just the way that you orchestrate your football program. Kind of tell me about that.
I don't know that we do anything that I would tell you that we have like a special formula that we do different than anyone else. I mean, we believe in the weight room. Like we're going to lift. We lift 4 days a week. The day that we don't lift, we use it for a mobility day because we want to be able to move too. I mean, we speed train twice a week, and then we'll team camp and 7-on-7 in the summer. And I just think that our kids start doing that in the 7th grade, so they know that it's they know it's important to the coaches if we're having them do it in the 7th grade. So they know it's important to them the whole way through, and they know that when they go to the weight room, they know they're there to work, and our guys just do a great job doing that. And I think they enjoy working out, and we try to make the atmosphere not like they're at boot camp, that we want them to look forward to working out. They go in there, they have fun, and I think that helps us out a lot too. And our guys just show up, man. We don't have issues with worrying about whether guys are going to be at practice or they're going to be where they're supposed to be.
That's big right there. Mm-hmm. Some places do.
Yeah. We've got, I think, 31 on the roster, and, if a guy's not going to be there, we know they're not going to be there. They'll have communicated the night before with the coach. They'll let us know what was going on, and I just, it's luckily for us, it's just, 7th through 12th.
I think I attended 3 or 4 Carlisle games last year, which is a bunch for me, but I can just tell that your kids have bought into what you're trying to do. I mean, like you've had them since the 7th grade. That's the reason why. I mean, it's when they buy in like they have, it's good, and there's always a bunch of good kids out there.
And it makes it a really fun group to coach too.
Exactly.
And our seniors they're a really fun group to coach.
So go ahead and introduce these two guys we're going to be talking to.
We've got Bentley Parker back there. Bentley will be a 3-year starter for us. I don't know that I've ever been around a tougher kid than Bentley is. I mean, he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, but he'll weigh, what are you, like 155 right now, Bentley? If Bentley tackles you, it's 155 pounds in the tackle every time. Like, he's going to lay everything he's got on the line for Carlisle football. He's a kind of a football junkie. There have been times where he's messaged me on a Saturday to let me know that he doesn't like coverages that he sees that someone's running at the college level. And he watches film. He knows the scheme. And with him, I know with him being on the back end, he knows how everybody's supposed to be lined up, and if something's not right, he sees it before I do back there.
That's pretty big when you got somebody smart like that.
Or he relays it to me, and we get it fixed. And, this year you're going to see him on the offensive side. He's been behind a couple guys that were all state for us, and but he's going to do a lot of good things on offense because he understands space and how to work to space. He's got really good hands, and when he catches it, he's going to fight for every yard. And if it hits his hands, he's not going to drop it either. The other guy is Colton Bartley. Colton he's a 2-year starter for. Like I said, he would have been a 3-year starter if we would have had him.
Right.
But Colton's had a fantastic offseason. He played 185 last year. Played at 185 last. He's 6'3", so he played at 185 last year, and then he came to me and said, "Hey, I want to weigh 220 for next season." And I was like, "Oh, let's make that happen." And I don't know that we've got.
You're pretty close, I bet.
Depending on the day, it's probably anywhere between 210 and 215. But Colton is a really good athlete. Colton can defensively, we can use him. He plays outside backer for us, but the spot that he plays, depending on what we see front wise, we'll walk him down and make him a defensive end. He can rush the passer. He's good in coverage, and he's here recently. There are a lot of people that have, at the next level that have started to notice him.
You can't coach that.
No, he's a tough kid too. Really good player, really tough kid, and he doesn't mind getting on his teammates if there's something that's going on that's
got to have that
the way it's supposed to be. So, and then offensively, he's got a role on offense too. But if you ask him, he'd probably tell you that he's a defensive guy first. Yeah.
You want to hit somebody?
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring those guys over. Coach, good talking to you.
Thank you all
Good
very
to see
much.
you again.
While we're waiting on the players to get up here, we want to be sure to thank the Carlisle Athletic Booster Club for sponsoring this interview with the Carlisle football team. Appreciate them for making this happen for all the fans out there.
Yep. Thank you, Justin, for getting that in for us. All right, Colton and Bentley, good to have you guys here today. Obviously, your coach is pretty impressed with both of you, but I'll start with you, Colton. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to play for Coach Wilson.
It's like playing for a dad. I've known him since my 7th grade year. Made a lot of decisions based off of him. Helped me make a lot of outside of football decisions too. Great guy. I know what he tells me is going to be the way to go. So, pretty confident in what he has to say.
Bentley, how about you?
Yeah, Coach Wilson, he knows a lot about football. He knows like he's the best for a defensive coach that I've been around. He's been my coach in 7th grade, coaching the defense. And he'll get us lined up every game that's going to be the best for who we're playing and what we're going to see. And he knows before what's going to happen and what we need to do to be able to stop that.
So, Colton, Coach Wilson said that you came to him and said you wanted to be bigger for this season. What was your motivation behind that?
I was playing Poen, and he was talking to Gabe Boyle about weight, maybe making fun of him. We're giving him a hard time. And then I was looking around like I wanted to be bigger because I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, man, I'm pretty skinny. I was pretty much a toothpick at 6'3", 185. And I knew I wanted a chance to go play at the next level, so I chose to get bigger.
And Bentley, he really talked about your football IQ and how much football you watch. So tell me a little bit about your passion for the game.
Yeah, so I watch college football every weekend. I love watching film, so I can see what we're going to see the next week or what we did that week that I feel like we could do better. And I like to watch myself a lot to see if I'm not getting downhill quick enough or if I'm not noticing that it's a pass, or just to be able to, get in the box and to stop the run. I like that a lot. So if there's a tight end, I know that I can get downhill faster, and so I can get man on man with the tight end and get downhill and to be able to get in the box and fit quicker to the run and then just be ready for the pass at all times.
So this is a question that both of you guys are welcome to answer, but looking at y'all's schedule this year, you guys play some teams that are close to y'all, like we talked about, Hazen and Desart. You guys might know some of those guys and grown up with some of those guys. So tell me, are there any games on your schedule this year that you guys are particularly looking forward to?
Them Eagles, Desart, we want to beat them. They've talked a lot, known them, so they all have my number. We've heard that all year. We're sick of it. We're ready to put it down.
Bentley, you have any games you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so I always look forward to the Desart game, like you said, and Hazen, because we've always been rivals with Hazen, and then Desart as well. You know, I like England game a lot, and then all of our conference games, they just mean a lot because we know that's good seeding for us for the playoffs. So we always take those games really serious, and in all the non-conference games. So it all matters to us, and we're all locked in and ready to go at all times wherever we're going to see.
So playing at Carlisle under the Friday night lights, what does playing for Carlisle mean to you guys, and what is that atmosphere like for people who don't know in Carlisle on a Friday night?
A lot of like just playing time in front of your uncles, your dad, your mom. They've all graduated from there. It's carrying on a tradition pretty much. It's born into it kind of thing.
Yeah, Carlisle, all the fans, everybody in the town is really big on football. So we know what we have to do and basically just carry on what we've had the past years. We know that we've been good the past years, so we don't want to be the group that doesn't allow that to keep going on forward. So we know what we have to do at all times and then work all week, every week, and play to where we can keep on winning and finally get to where we want to be in the end.
So I'll finish off with one last question here. What would be a successful season for you guys?
We've gone undefeated. We'd like to do it again, and this time make it all the way through playoffs.
Yeah, so we like last year, undefeated through regular season, and then we lose in the second round. That's not where we want to end at all. And last year we thought we had a good chance to make it all the way, but it just didn't happen. So this year, we'd like to make it and just hopefully win it all this year. We think we've got a good group and a group that's engaged and wants to do it. So I think we got a chance this year.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for being here with me today. I think you guys are going to have a really great year this year.